Welcome to another episode of the Dear John podcast. I'm your host, John Moody, recording in a walk-in closet somewhere in Atwater Village, California. Again, it's been a while. Sorry about that, y'all. It's been a minute. I know I say I want to get these out every week. Sometimes it's kind of tough to do that. Sometimes I'm waiting on letters. So again, if you have any questions for me to answer, that's dearjohnpodcast@gmail.com. Again, if it's your first time rolling through, my name's John Moody. I'm a comedic performer and writer and a lifelong bachelor and possible commitment phobe. So if you want to take my dating advice, it is at your own risk. But I figure, hell, if you can take it from Steve Harvey and other people who divorced 3, 6, 20 times, you might as well take it from me. Again, if you have questions, you can send those off to dearjohnpodcast@gmail.com. It's been kind of busy for me the last couple weeks. I had to dip back to my hometown, Buffalo, New York. My mom had like a back procedure and I had to get through there. You know, the tough thing about going back home is that you don't always get to see folks. And, you know, it's to the point now I don't even tell some people that I'm coming through because, you know, they get offended if you, and you mean you got all the way back here, you didn't get a chance to see me. And sometimes when you see folks and you hang out with them all day, they be like, all right, man, so what you doing tomorrow? I'm like, you know, let's hang out. I'm like, we hanging out now. It's just kind of hard when you know a lot of people that you care about. You don't always, you know, get to spend the appropriate amount of time with them. But being back in Buffalo, man, it just reminds you of a few things, man. You know, like when you come from a smaller town or something like that, you know, these places, man, they have like their culture, man. And you go back and you're like, you know, you're part of that again. And it's real cool. Anyway, let's just get into this really quickly. And by the way, mom is doing well. Back surgery went well. She's feeling great. I went back just to kind of help out a little bit, and I'm saying that's just a little bit because she wasn't really there for me to be telling her what to do and how to do it. You know, it was just a matter of, I might need you to bring these water bottles up from the basement, but that was about it. I raked some leaves. And what's kind of cool about that is I don't do that out here in LA. You know, I don't rake leaves. I don't shovel snow. So I have to kind of catch myself because I was about to take a picture of me raking leaves like I was doing something. And I had to realize this is just everyday shit for people who live in Buffalo, you know, and you know, most places where you have actual seasons. So it's not a big deal. It was a big deal for me. I thought I was doing something, man. And what I did realize is how much the raking leaves is hard work. You know, it looks like fun and everything until you get that big pile, and then you got to transfer that pile of leaves into garbage bags and then take the garbage bags out to the curb, and they got their own special rules, like you got to have clear bags and stuff like that. For y'all homeowners who do that stuff, man, my hat's off to you. It's a lot of work. Anyway, here to give y'all some advice. I got some letters, and we're going to get into those, and let's just see what happens. All right, my first letter, let's open this here. Okay, Dear John, first of all, I want to come forward and confess that I am an employee of a website that helps people cheat on their spouses. I've worked there for quite some time, and believe me when I say I've seen and heard everything. Men find ever creative ways of cheating, which brings me to why I'm writing. My man is a coffee junkie who spends way too much time at Starbucks. He claims he is working, but working on what? He's a freelancer and he only has one client, 2 at the most. I suspect he's working on finding another woman. If this is true, it will not be good for him. I am from a former communist country, and we demand nothing less than complete loyalty. Infidels are squashed without mercy, and it will be I who will find another man. He should know this, should he not? Luckily, he's a big fan of your podcast and will surely listen to this and to your response. So don't let me down, dearest John. Make him listen to reason. Otherwise, I will have to squash this beloved man of mine. Pozdrawiam. The Polish thugette. All right. Wow. There's a lot going on here. First and foremost, getting letters from folks from former communist nations. Don't know if that's gonna have Mueller knocking on my door to see if I had anything to do with this, Russian voter scandal we got going on. I assure you that I do not. But anyway, let's get into this. All right. You say you work at a website which helps people cheat on their spouses. So, yeah, of course, you've seen everything. And you want to know why you think your husband's cheating? Because all day, every day, you come into contact with miserable ass people who resort to using a website to cheat. That's why. Listen, if you work for a website which help men to become cross dressers, you know what you accuse your husband of becoming? A cross dresser. That's right. As soon as he picked out like a salmon shirt, you see that as like the first sign. And God forbid if Halloween came around and he wanted to dress up like Thor, because as soon as you saw him put on that blonde wig, you'd be convinced that he was becoming RuPaul or something like that. Look, if he knows you work at a website to help spouses cheat, he knows that you know all the tricks. I'm pretty sure he's doing, what he say he's doing. But why don't you do this? Why don't you just randomly one day on your lunch break show up at Starbucks, see if he's there? Do it a couple days. Maybe you go in, see if he's there. Maybe not. Just hang out outside. It's real stalkerish, but I guess you got to do what you got to do. If you don't feel like doing that, then check this out. One day, maybe on a Saturday, just say, hey, babe, we're going to stay in today, watch some movies or whatever. I'm going to make breakfast. I'm going to do everything. What you do is you give him decaffeinated coffee. Give him decaffeinated coffee. I don't know how many times he drinks it, but all day, give him decaffeinated coffee. All right? Now, if by Saturday night he doesn't have a splitting headache and severe nausea from caffeine withdrawal, you know he's lying and you bust his ass. Now, if he does have a severe headache and, he's nauseous or whatever because you kept him without his caffeine, then I guess you're just going to have to give him some aspirin and some real coffee with caffeine and try not to let your conscience bother you too much because you basically just passive aggressively poisoned your husband on some kind of crazy Bill Cosby shit. You probably won't feel guilty because being from a communist country, I'm sure you're more than familiar with authority figures torturing folks and poisoning folks, and it sounds like you are the authority figure in this marriage. But no, thanks for sending that in. I'm going to say this about websites that help spouses cheat. Using a website to cheat is cheating on the cheat game. What kind of low life goes on a blind cheat date? You got to do shit the old fashioned way. If you're gonna cheat on your spouse, don't do it with a stranger. Find like a coworker or a church member that and you cheat with them. Have the decency to cheat with somebody you at least familiar with and not a complete stranger. If you think about it, all of the great cheat songs talking about finding, the other lover, like somebody they work with and they sneak in and, they couldn't help but fall in love with each other. Think about Part-Time Lover by Stevie Wonder, Secret Lovers, Midnight Express, Call Me. I forgot who sang that, Call Me. I don't know, not Madam X. Was Cooper. I know her name was Cooper, Monica Cooper. But anyway, the song was like, though your girlfriend is a friend of mine. Here's my number and a dime. Call me anytime. Now, that's some cheating lyrics. You know what I mean? Nobody says anything like, I met this chick on a website and now she treats me right. Come on, man. I met some random chick who wanted to cheat, and when we get together, it's such a treat. And nobody wants to hear no bullshit like that. If you're gonna cheat, again, find a church member, somebody you work with. And do that. But that's just weak using computers for stuff like that. And as far as cheating goes for real, back to my Polish thugette. From what I understand, when men cheat, it's not something that the wife suspects. It's something the wife knows. Okay. And I know for me that alone would keep my ass from cheating. All right. I couldn't imagine having a wife or even a girlfriend preparing a meal for me knowing that I'm cheating on her, because if I did, I would just cook all the time. Because if she cooks something and it tasted like shit, I'd be wondering if the food was just something that tasted like shit or if it was actual shit that I just tasted because she put some shit in my food because I was doing some bullshit by cheating on her. I don't know. But anyway, again, Polish Thugette, thank you for that letter. Appreciate it. I hope that helps you out. That's interesting. Okay, and one more word of advice. We're gonna have to find you a new job. You know what I mean? You can't keep working there. Working at a place that helps spouses cheat and then you're married, it's kind of like working at a place that helps people steal pets while the owners are at work. You ain't gonna never feel comfortable being at work while your pet is at home. So maybe 2018, we find some other type of website to work at. I don't know. Maybe the pay is good. But anyway, thanks a lot. Next question here. Let's see. Dear John, I've never heard you give dating advice to gay couples. Do you not accept letters from gay couples? All right, my first response to that isn't a question about dating or relationships. All right, this is a forum where you ask me questions about dating and relationships, not just some random ass questions. And I'm not going to start answering random ass questions, but I guess I will answer this random ass questions. Okay, first of all, how do you know that I haven't received letters from someone who is gay? I mean, I don't know whether I have or haven't. I mean, to be honest, for the most part, folks use a name, but if it's Tracy, Pat, Leslie, or Stacy, I mean, I don't know if that's a man or a woman. So, I mean, I don't know. But to be honest, it may be best if I didn't know because, would I give advice to gay couples? Well, I don't know anything about that. And I know like relationships of people are people, but let's just say for instance, okay, I know a while back I had a friend lived in my building. She's a lesbian, all right? And she'd come over sometimes, we sit up, have a beer, whatever, and she would like, just vent about her relationship. And I would just listen because what am I going to do? Tell her, about, women? Explain to her, well, listen, see, what you don't understand about women is this, and she's a woman. I ain't mansplaining to women about being a woman. I ain't that dude, so I would just listen to her. That's one thing. And then I'll be honest with you, as far as two dudes go, I'm just not going to be fair because I'm kind of old school in my thinking. And I'm always going to revert to like, a man being a man. And my advice is going to be, whoever the dude that ain't manning up, going to need to man up. Because two dudes, really, what y'all fighting about anyway? Where's the dispute? Where, what are y'all not getting along? In what area? Because we from the same thing. We doing the same. Well, it ain't going to be about leaving the toilet seat up. That should never be a struggle between two dudes because the toilet seat should always be up. It might be a beef if one of them likes to put the toilet seat down and women, what y'all don't understand is this, y'all want the toilet seat down all the time, but check it out. I know it only takes a couple milliseconds to lift up the seat and the seat cover and the top and stuff like that. But the milliseconds you using to lift up that cover seat in an emergency could be the meaning of having some millipiss in your drawers because you busy trying to get the toilet seat up. I don't expect women to get that, but two dudes, y'all should get that. That shouldn't be a dispute. And just the other stuff, that might be a source of an argument. I'm like, dude, just man up. I don't want to hear a dude ask me advice and say, well, he forgot my birthday and, I'm real disappointed. I'm like, dude, man up. All right, man, because first of all, do you know when your birthday is? Yeah, you do. Did you want your dude to remember your birthday? You did? Well, then you should have reminded him that your birthday was coming up. You should have let him know a month out that, hey, the birthday coming up. I want to do something for my birthday. 2 weeks. My birthday in 2 weeks. I want to do something for my birthday. A week out. Hey, we haven't talked about nothing. What we doing for my birthday and the day before. Because as a man, we don't really keep all that information and things like that in our head. And you just setting that cat up for failure by not reminding him. So if it was so damn important for you to have your birthday, then you should have reminded him about that, and that's basically what my advice would always be. Man, you need to man up, all right? Because y'all dudes, and again, got no problem with people being gay. Like my boy, rest in peace, James Hanna used to say, if you're gay, get your gay on. If you're extra crispy gay, that's your business. It don't offend me. I ain't worried about it. But yeah, I'm giving advice. I mean, again, I'm just not trying to pretend like I know something about everything. If you dating somebody who's transgender, I don't know nothing about that and some of the trappings and landmines that you can have with that. So, yeah, but thanks a lot for that letter. Let's see. Let's do one more here. Let's check this one out. Okay. Dear John, with all that's going on with sexual harassment, how do you approach a woman at work if you're interested? It seems you can't say anything anymore without catching some sort of accusation. All right. Okay. On the real side, I've been seeing a few posts by cats who seem to be at a loss as to how to interact with women in the workplace. And really, it's no different than it was before all this stuff hit the headlines. You know what I mean? I mean, if you work with somebody and you decide you want to date them, ask them on a date. If she says no, you keep it moving. You know what I mean? Nobody here is in trouble for saying, "Excuse me, would you like to get lunch sometime, or would you like to get dinner sometime?" All right? It's not harassment unless you keep asking after she says no. That's where you start getting in trouble. You know, if you ask a coworker out, and by coworker, I mean you're not her boss, you're not a manager, a supervisor, you have any other upper position where it could seem like, yo, it's got to be, pay for play. You go out with me, you keep your job, or you get a promotion. You got to stay away from stuff like that. But you're on an even keel. Hey, ask her out, and while you're asking her out, just make sure that you're not touching her, definitely not groping her. You're not exposing yourself, touching yourself. If you stay away from that, no groping, no exposing, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. And I know if cats still don't really understand this, so let's break it down like this. Think of it like this, trying to date a coworker, all right? Think of it like a coworker who's trying to sell candy at work to everybody else or somebody else. Okay, they're trying to sell candy for their kid. They might ask you, "Hey, you want to buy a candy bar?" And they might even say, "Hey, I really need you to buy this candy bar because the cause is going from a kid for this, that, and the other." And at that point, you're going to say yes or no. If you say no, and they ask you a little later on, you're like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want the candy bar." All right? And then let's just say the next day, they show up, got a picture of the kid, say, "Man, kid really want to go on this trip. You want to buy a candy bar?" You're going to start feeling like you're getting bugged. You know what I mean? But let's just keep taking this further, all right? After that, coworker starts making jokes about how hungry you look. And that he got what you need, Start asking you when's the last time you had something to eat, and I can give you something to eat. I can give you what you want, what you need. Look, this shit sounds uncomfortable already, and we just talking about a candy bar. All right? Now let's just imagine that the coworker's offering a candy bar that's got coconuts and pistachio, and you hate coconuts and pistachio. All right, you can't stand coconuts and pistachio. So not only do you not want a candy bar, if you wanted a candy bar, the last thing you want is the candy bar that this coworker is offering you. Okay? Now imagine, let's take all of this right here and imagine that scenario if the offer was sex. Because pretty much when you asking a coworker out on a date, you're kind of asking for sex. Maybe not right away, whatever, but that's the end game for the most part. I mean, but still, at least that's what they think the end game is. So you got to be careful. But what kills me about that is that, you got the candy offerer, you know what I mean, offering the cocaine, that's a whole different thing. The coconut and pistachio candy, and then sometimes they'll get mad when somebody else shows up and maybe they're selling candy with dark chocolate and caramel. All right. Then Mr. Pistachio and Coconut gets mad because they want to know, well, why is it harassment when I'm selling my candy, but over here, somebody else bought the chocolate and caramel, because they don't see that nobody wants their nasty ass candy, and somebody else got some candy that somebody actually wants. So just be careful, be respectful. Don't have any expectations. They don't have to say yes. And if they say no to you and yes to somebody else, it ain't about you. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't buying you every day. In this industry, and as when I go out for acting jobs, I mean, I was told a long time ago, hey man, some days folks are going to be buying you, other days they're not. Some days, folks, there's somebody out there that wants to buy John Moody. So, you got to find that person that wants what you're offering. And that's for everything, whatever product you're selling, whatever your skills are, when you're marketing your skills, are they buying you and what you have to offer that day? It's the same thing with dating, and you can't get mad, and, you're much better off if you don't keep pressing people and bothering people and things like that. All right, think we're going to wrap it up for now. Again, if you have any questions, please send them to dearjohnpodcast@gmail.com. Also, look out for the YouTube channel and please hit subscribe. Subscribe on YouTube. I'm really gonna try to do a New Year's thing where I drop one of these at least once a week. Thanks a lot for the encouragement. I've actually got some phone calls. My girl Charlotte Burley, who also tackled this subject. Check her out, Charlotte Burley on YouTube, where she talks about sexual harassment, hashtag Me Too, regarding sisters and why so many black women may not be coming out. Very interesting piece she did there, real deep. Something, a lot of fellas definitely could stand to check out and get a better understanding of this. So yeah, again, Dear John Podcast. Y'all know y'all can catch me on Facebook, Twitter, JB Moody 716. That's the Twitter. And I'm on Instagram, John B. Moody. Dang it, what is my Instagram handle? Is it John B. Moody or JB Moody? Let me check it out real quick. What is that's a dang shame that I got y'all on here. Now you're gonna hear the computer clicks and stuff like that because I'm trying to figure out my Twitter. But anyway, those of y'all on Instagram, just look me up. I believe it's JB Moody 716 on Instagram. And hey, hopefully we'll get this done. I'm gonna get this dropped for Christmas, so I hope everybody out there have great holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate and not celebrating. I hope you have a great holiday filled with a lot of food, fun, laughter, family, folks. Be safe out there, and we're going to try to get one more in before we say goodbye to 2017. All right, thanks for listening in, and y'all take care.
Shout out all the lords of the low frequencies. What's good? Yeah, real Chris Clark. Let's July. Some fly-ish. So try this on the side. Yeah, bottoms. Big bag of bottoms. Bump for you boys on the block.